Stage Live! The only news show on the internet made in just under 4 hours to honor the average length of lesbian sex. I'm your host, Ella Yurman. Thank you. Tonight we've got a live in-studio interview with a famous civil rights activist. First-hand reporting on trans unemployment rates. Apollo Flowerchild is here. And a sinister cabal of shadowy conservative operatives covertly working to destroy democracy. But first, in Australia, a toddler got stuck in a claw machine at the mall. The toddler is out safely, thank God. But if that claw machine misses having a person trapped in there forever, may we suggest Chaya Chick? A recent photo of two men having sex atop a moving 7 train has been circulating. Guess they couldn't handle sitting in silence after their headphones died. Also, congrats to the MTA for having trains that are slow enough to f*** on. Rachel Dolezal has been fired from her teaching gig for having an OnlyFans account. What? During Black History Month? With Beyonce and Lana Del Rey releasing country albums this year, Billboard has proclaimed that a new crop of pop stars are going country in 2024. Can't wait for Dua Yeehaw's new album. Get it? Like Dua Lipa? Reid wrote that one. During the Super Bowl, Israel launched an attack on Rafah in the hopes that Americans wouldn't notice. Adorable that Israel thinks the average American needs a distraction in order to not care about Palestine. By the way, the U.S. vetoed the UN resolution for a ceasefire in Gaza for the 3rd time. So if you get a letter from the IRS begging you for taxes, just go ahead and set that shit on fire. 38% of surveyed dog owners in Denmark admitted to giving their dogs CBD and related products. The other 62% are giving their dogs drugs that actually work. A video of the NYPD dance team went viral this week. According to the New York Times, they danced to reggaeton, bachata, bhangra, and whatever ethnic group they're brutalizing this week. Trans activist and sex worker Cecilia Gentili passed away earlier this month. Her funeral was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral and was attended by over 1,000 impeccably dressed transsexuals who honored Cecilia's life with eulogies proclaiming, "This whore, this great whore, Saint Cecilia, mother of all whores." The Catholic community called the celebration of her life and sex work sacrilegious. Totally. Because Jesus Christ famously hated sex workers. A Queens resident was sentenced for smuggling 3 Burmese pythons in his pants from Canada to the US. When authorities caught him, they thought he was carrying 4. Hey-o! It's Black History Month, and we've pulled out all the stops. And by all the stops, we don't just mean our one black correspondent. We here at Late Stage Live have gotten our very own time machine, and we've used it to book an incredible guest. She is inarguably one of the greatest black historical figures of all time, an orator, abolitionist, and women's rights advocate. Here from 1860, please welcome Sojourner Truth. It's a great honor to meet you, Sojourner Truth.
Thank you for welcoming me to your show. I brought some herring as a gift for everybody.
Wait, why is this happening?
I am very glad to be here in the year 2024. I have very many things to talk about.
I'm sorry. Why are you talking like that?
What do you mean? It's me, Sojourner Truth. This is how I speak. I was born and I lived in Worcester County, New York, which was a Dutch colony. I spoke with a Dutch accent all my life.
Really? I actually didn't know that.
You went all the way back to 1860 to pull me from a time machine, but didn't bother to look me up on the Wikipedia.
You know, you're right. That's honestly a huge oversight on our part.
This is actually what I wanted to talk to you and your audience about. There is so much misinformation about me here in the 20 and 24. And it's tainted my legacy. It's time to clear the air. Let me ask you a question, white woman.
My name is Ella.
Ella. I will call you Annamieka. It's just easier. Let me ask you, Annamieka. When you hear my name, Sojourner Truth, what do you think of?
I guess you're most famous for your Ain't I a Woman speech.
Ain't I a woman? These words I never even say. The speech I gave in 1851 at the Akron Women's Rights Convention is a totally different one than the one you learned in school. The speech, you know, was rewritten in 1863 by a white woman, much like yourself. She decided to write the speech in American Southern vernacular to make it sound more authentic and slave-like. So now everybody thinks I have a Southern accent.
So all this time we've just been learning a bastardized version of your speech in school? How did I not know this?
Well, you can educate yourself. Do a Google. I've been here in the year 20 and 24 for one day and I found this out on Google.
Yeah, honestly, that's fair. Does the speech we learned at least contain, like, the essence of what your original speech said?
That's a very good question, Anamika.
It's Ella.
That's a very good question, Anamika. Luckily, my good friend Marius Robinson wrote the transcript of the speech in 1851 when I gave it. Shout out to the homie. So, let's compare the two speeches and see the difference. I will read my original words, and you, Anamika, you can read the white woman's version of my speech.
Ooh. I don't think it's a good idea for me to read this. It feels like cultural appropriation.
How is this cultural appropriation? These are a white woman's words. A white woman wrote it, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I will start. May I say a few words? I want to say a few words about this matter.
Well, chillin'. War dar's so much racket, dar must be something out o' kilter.
I am a woman's rights.
I think that twixt the...
Say it. Go on, say the word. I dare you. I fucking dare you.
No, I get it. I get the picture. The speeches are very different.
No shit, Sherlock. This white woman wanted to make my speech more palatable to the American public, so she commandeered my words and colonized my speech. She's not only tainted my legacy and identity, but further obfuscated the history of slavery in the American North. So I want to encourage your viewers to decolonize their black history knowledge. Do your research, question the narratives you're fed, and respect the words of actual black people. Not just the dead ones, the living ones too.
Thank you, Sojourner. That was very enlightening. We really appreciate that.
Also, eat more herring. It's a Dutch delicacy and it's good for you. Especially you, Anamika. It will be good for your weak bones and dry hair.
Okay. All right. Let's get you back in that time machine. Sojourner Truth, everybody. You know, I kind of wish we'd use that time machine to kill baby Hitler instead. We'll be right back. Welcome back! I missed you! Our next story tonight, empirical evidence collected in 2021 found that trans people are twice as likely to be as unemployed as cis people. And anecdotal evidence collected my entire adult life found that even the ones with jobs tend to be employed as things like dog walkers, administrative assistants, or DJs. So basically unemployed. But that data was collected by cis people with internalized biases and journalism degrees. Late Stage's very own transgender cultural correspondent, Agnes hit the streets to collect her own totally unbiased data. Roll the clip.
According to a 2021 study by McKinsey, over 30% of transgender Americans face unemployment today. In 2022, New York's Governor Kathy Hochul commissioned the Transgender Employment Survey, corroborating much of McKinsey's findings. Since 2019, New York's Division of Human Rights assessed over 1,200 formal complaints, 65% of which had to do with employment discrimination in the workplace. But part of my wily transgender brain doesn't want to believe statistics taken by cis people. I went to the most reliable bastion of transgender knowledge I could think of, a house party of a girl I kind of hook up with, to see what transgender people are really doing to get by in New York City. What's your name?
I'm Alana.
Gabriel.
Jules.
Esty.
Natalie.
Will.
Miranda.
Violet.
Sarah.
Sedona. Mikal.
Vivian.
Jessica. MJ.
Eleanor.
Sarah. Hessa. Rose.
Soren.
Holden. I'm Ella Yurman.
My name is June.
How would you describe your gender identity?
Transgender woman.
Transgender woman.
I'm a trans woman.
Trans woman.
I am a trans woman.
Doll. Lady.
The girl one.
I'm a regular woman.
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 You can call me a woman, I guess.
Do you want the long or the short answer?
Let's go with the short answer.
Woman.
I'm a woman.
I'm a Jewish woman.
I'm a Jewish woman.
Nice.
I'm a non-binary woman.
Man.
Male.
Male. Him. Dude.
Brody.
Brody. Sure.
I don't know. Generally trans mask.
What are your pronouns?
They, them, unfortunately.
Korean.
And what do you do for work?
I'm an event producer. I do like event work.
How many hours a week do you say you work?
Like 25 to 40.
That sounds like a real commitment.
It definitely eats up my days.
What would you consider a fake real job, if that's a real job?
Fake job, like probably like if you're an administrative assistant.
You don't like administrative assistants?
It's like what are you doing with
I don't even know either.
No, fake job.
What do you do for work?
I'm an administrative assistant. I'm an adjunct professor.
I work at the New Yorker magazine.
I am a criminal defense paralegal.
Any tasty cases recently?
Oh, too many to count.
How high can you count?
5?
Excellent. What do you do for work?
Absolutely nothing.
I walk dogs.
I'm a pet sitter.
I make movies.
I'm the senior assistant managing clerk.
That sounds made the up.
Software engineer.
Software engineer.
I'm a software engineer. I'm a web developer.
You know Peter Parker?
No, I don't.
Should look him up. He's a pretty big deal in your department.
I'm a DJ, unemployed.
Are you a DJ or are you unemployed?
I'm a DJ. I also. I'm a legal analyst, and I am also a DJ.
Bartend.
Makeup artist.
I'm a podcaster.
I work for a startup.
A startup doing what?
We're kind of like trying to do like a Delta 8 thing, but with opium.
And what do you do for work?
Agnes, are you kidding? I'm your boss at Late Stage Live.
That's a good one. That's really good. That's good. We have no money whatsoever.
Wow! A lot more people I know have tech jobs than I thought. And I haven't been begging them for money? And now, an emergency broadcast from NASA.
And the wind comes indecisive. The water fills my eyes. Though nature has its vices to destroy us every time. And this is the way we were meant to die and and is it a crime to destroy the motherland? traumatize her inhabitants, deforest all her land, just for my comfort. And you are a tornado passing through me, a natural disaster, my heart's uncertainty. Though love has a power, daffodils with knives, butterflies are enchanting. They're reading my inside. Whoa. And this is the way we were meant to die. And whoa. And is it a crime to destroy the motherland, traumatize her inhabitants, deforest all her land, and just for my comfort? And mother, I know I'm guilty, but I won't come home this time. Though your poisonous words sting like ivy, causing lava to spew from my mind. And mother, I know I'm guilty, that much I understand. And though you never listen, I'll drown in your indifference. And the wind comes indecisive, and the water fills my eyes. And nature has its vices to destroy us every time. Whoa.
Welcome back, everyone! Long time no see. It's me, Ella Yurman, remember? From before? Well, anyway, in our final story tonight, a shadowy network of powerful conservatives are grooming homeschooled weirdos, placing them in positions of immense power and trying to take over the world. Their name? The Alliance Defending Freedom, also known as the people who make it impossible for you to piss, shit, get an abortion, or make a website. Since 2011, the ADF, a designated hate group, has won 15 Supreme Court cases, gutting the separation of church and state and chipping away at discrimination protections for women and queer people. The end of Roe v. Wade? That was them. The ruling that Hobby Lobby could deny contraceptive care to its employees? Also them. Anti-trans bathroom bills and businesses refusing to make wedding websites for gay people? Them. Damn, I'm starting to sound like cis people when they find out my pronouns are she, her. But I digress. And I need to stop doing that because if the doctor said if I digress one more time, I'll die. Also, while I digress, the ADF lawyers continue to plot and scheme, just like Taylor Swift plotting to play the Super Bowl halftime show next year. And also get Joe Biden elected after casting a spell on the field to ensure her boyfriend's team won. I don't really know how it's supposed to work. I black out when people talk about other blonde girls. All I know is Biden posted a freaky meme and I got scared. Also, I turned the game off after seeing that bizarre AI Jesus foot washing ad. But I digress, and I have to stop doing that. The ADF has been building a network of conservative-leaning lawyers in both public and private practice since 1994, which means they're older and more powerful than Dua Lipa. Soon to be Dua Yeehaw. Reid, stop! Founded by 6 of the worst people you've ever heard of, they take homeschooled Christian weirdos, enter them into their right-wing training programs, and then set them up with cushy positions in the highest levels of government. It's sort of like when Maya Hawke lands a lead role in her dad's movie, except instead of a mid-budget Ethan Hawke film, it's the United States. And instead of a nepotism hire, it's the rapid ascent of fascism. By the way, Ethan, if you or Maya ever want to come to the show, just hit me up, dude. We tape, like, right around the corner from your house. Their training programs are like Harry Potter houses, but somehow even more transphobic. The ADF Legal Academy recruits and trains lawyers to use their legal practice to service the body of Christ. Service the body of Christ? Are you trying to legally give Jesus a hand job? I cannot believe there's a genre of law that is just wishing we were in middle school. The Allied Attorney Network is a network of over 4,000 right-wing attorneys who provide pro bono work in exchange for access to resources, grants, and a copy of the Constitution to wipe their asses with. The Young Lawyers Academy targets recent law school grads and lawyers just beginning their career when they're young and pliable and inexperienced, just how Republicans like them. And then there's the Blackstone Legal Fellowship, the Slytherin of the ADF. They've placed more than 2,600 fellows into positions working for powerful judges and state attorney generals. Blackstone Fellowship's stated goal is to train a new generation of lawyers who will rise to positions of influence and leadership as legal scholars, litigators, judges, perhaps even Supreme Court justices. Mission f***ing accomplished. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Senator Josh Hawley were ADF summer lecturers. Thomas Stack, senior attorney for the U.S. Department of Education, was the ADF's director of litigation projects. And of course, current Speaker of the House and mastermind behind January 6th, Mike Johnson. In fact, while Johnson was at the ADF, he wrote an amicus brief aimed at criminalizing gay sex that called gay relationships inherently unnatural and a dangerous lifestyle, and claimed that if we legalize gay marriage, pedophiles and others would be next in line to claim equal protection. This is from the guy who purposefully alerts his son anytime he Googles feet pics. That is a real thing. I'm not kink shaming. I'm not kink shaming. I'm kink begging you to stop telling your son when you want to jerk off. Just like the most annoying guy you went to college with adding you on LinkedIn, the ADF knows that building their network builds their influence. Justices Alito and Coney Barrett have ADF people clerking for them, and more than 60 Blackstone fellows are clerking on federal courts. ADF lawyers filed cases like the 2023 Amarillo, Texas abortion pill ban, which was brought before Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, a Trump appointee judge and former deputy counsel of First Liberty Institute, a Christian legal advocacy group that has received grants from the ADF. That judge chose interns and clerks from the ADF's Blackstone Legal Fellowship. It's all connected, like me and this desk that I'm chained to. If the desk was also chained to a dark network of conservative lawyers. At this point, you may be asking, why have you cursed me with this knowledge, witch? For 2 reasons. First, your anxiety fuels me and I must feed. But more importantly, people tend to think of these recent right-wing political gains as the result of a backlash to social progress, like pronouns or gay guys being allowed to vote. It's Obama's fault. Maybe America just wasn't ready for its first black war criminal after all. But that's not what's happening. This is the result of decades of planning, scheming, and government infiltration by the ADF and its ilk, because of course the ADF's got ilk. On February 14th of this year, Oklahoma introduced a bill that would ban the morning after pill and prevent healthcare providers from prescribing IUDs as emergency contraception. Who helped draft this bill? You guessed it, the fucking ADF. They parachute into different states and push SCOTUS cases eroding the rights of women, trans people, and people of color. Parachute in the lame metaphorical sense, of course, not the rad, literal stealing $200,000 in cash and disappearing into the Washington wilderness never to be seen again sense. I love you, DB Cooper! I know you're still out there! Their tactic is simple but effective. Partner with state senators, Congress, and Satan to draft and disseminate and defend model bills that fit their agenda. And even when their arguments are baseless and unconstitutional, they've got enough affiliates in powerful positions to get them passed anyway. They go to states where they know they have people in power, and they create a lower court argument with the intention of going all the way up to SCOTUS. How do they get their cases before the Supreme Court? They seek out individuals who might be sympathetic to their agenda and file lawsuits in their name. If they can't find those individuals, they just cast them. That's right! The ADF is destroying our rights with the same tactics Netflix uses to cast Love is Blind. But that's not even really true, because at least the idiots in Love is Blind auditioned to be on the show. The plaintiffs in these cases aren't everyday conservative Joes seeking out the ADF to fund their pre-existing legal cases. They're randos that the ADF preys on and convinces to do their bidding. In May of 2016, the ADF filed a suit against the city of Phoenix on behalf of a stationery studio named Brush and Nib. Obviously, Brush is the funny one and Nib is the slutty one. Brush and Nib claimed they had the right to not make wedding stationery and invitations for gay people. The case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in their favor in 2019. Funny thing, though, Brush and Nib started their business just a year before the ADF filed their case and shuttered their business almost immediately after the decision. Their social media page hasn't been updated since the ruling, and their website leads to an advertisement for an Indonesian gambling company. Oh, and by the way, before the case was even decided, one of them co-founded a PR and polling firm that's worked for the ADF and some prominent Arizona politicians. 2 months later, the ADF filed a suit against the city of Louisville, Kentucky on behalf of Chelsea Nelson, a wedding photographer who claimed she was being forced to photograph gay weddings. Funny thing, though, she'd formally established her photography firm only 1 month before filing that suit. And that LLC was filed by Aaron J. Stiletto, an ADF allied attorney who is now an attorney general in the state of Kentucky. What a funny quid pro coincidence. In 2022, Trump-appointed District Judge Benjamin Beaton ruled in Nelson's favor, though Louisville immediately appealed to a higher court and the case is ongoing. No longer under the threat of Kentucky's homo-loving anti-discrimination laws, Nelson moved to Florida. Not that you'd know that by looking at her professional website, though, or the ADF's website, because a key part of her case against Louisville hinges on her being a Kentucky resident. So she has to pretend online that her photography business is still primarily focused in the Louisville area, despite, again, her living in Florida. Nelson admitted in deposition that the ADF approached her and helped her write her business's website statement, which makes sense. No gay person would ever ask this goofy bitch to take photos of their wedding. What self-respecting homosexual would entrust a woman with such a severe side part? The ADF's tactics work because they're pulling pages directly from the progressive organization's playbooks. Their tactics are inspired by the NAACP and the ACLU, who sought out discriminatory policies to challenge and wrote statements for their clients. It's one of the world's most successful cases of cultural appropriation, right up there with Matt Rife's Black Scent. The ADF is like a white girl who got cornrows and is somehow making them work. Like, in a huge way. Like, in a world-dominating way. And they are going for world domination, by the way. That is explicitly their long-term plan. And as proven, they're very good at executing long-term plans. The ADF began with the goal to end Roe v. Wade and legally undermine the separation of church and state. They've succeeded at both, but they're not done. They're on their pinky and the brain grind. Since 2010, they've held special consultant status at the UN. In 2012, their former legal counsel advocated to preserve a law criminalizing gay sex in Jamaica. That law is still on the books. The ADF has litigated dozens of cases in the European Court of Human Rights, including a case in 2015 where they defended state-enforced sterilization requirements for trans people seeking gender-affirming care. They financially and legally supported anti-LGBT legislation in Belize, Italy, Austria, Slovakia, Chile, Colombia, Romania, Mexico, and Northern Ireland, just to name a few. Their reach is growing, and their pockets are growing right along with them. The ADF is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is making f***ing bank. They've recorded a revenue of over $104 million, with a significant amount of that revenue coming from anonymous donors, which works out considering they conveniently won a Supreme Court case that ended California's requirements to release the names of large donors to nonprofits. Wow. So what's next for our pals at the ADF? Well, hold on to your gay little butts, because it's about to get a lot worse. Project 2025 is a 920-page political development plan led by noted ADF donor, the Heritage Foundation, and supported by 80 right-wing Christian organizations, including, you guessed it, the ADF. Its purpose is to completely reshape the federal government to support the agenda of Donald Trump. And no, that doesn't mean government-mandated comb-overs. It means fascism. These people are Christian nationalists, and they believe that their sacred duty is to uphold the Seven Mountains Mandate, a dominionist Christian movement that seeks to gain total control of the 7 pillars of society: government, business, media, entertainment, religion, family, and education. They want to dismantle climate regulations, increase the production of fossil fuel, eliminate the Departments of Education and Commerce, block federal financial aid for up to 2/3 of American college students, terminate the legal status of Dreamers, suspend work visas, block legal immigration, use military funds to build detention centers for undocumented immigrants, and delete the terms of sexual orientation and gender identity, diversity, equity, and inclusion out of every piece of legislation that exists, all while getting absolutely no pussy? And hair transplants? How do they find the time? Really, no, how? How do they find the time? We have to access their calendars and their plagiarized playbooks that they stole from the NAACP so we can pull those pages back, because whether you like it or not, that's the only way the left can make any goddamn headway. The ADF is providing a roadmap for how people on the left need to approach the next decade of politics. Play an incredibly strategic long game for as much time as we have left before the Ben & Jerry's flavor graveyard sinks into the ocean along with the rest of the East Coast and life stops being worth living. Instead of posting an outdated meme in response to a fake Taylor Swift conspiracy, we need a president who's organizing and executing real, long-term, insidious plans like the ADF, who, by the way, are financially backed by the same organization that funded that insane AI Jesus foot washing Super Bowl ad. It's all connected! They're never not working. It's foot fetishes all the way down. Meanwhile, Biden has his feet up on his desk cackling about a tweet that said absolutely nothing and somehow managed to piss off internet socialists and libs of TikTok all in one go. A move that, while impressive, moves the needle not at all. I don't understand how the LGBT community has dropped the ball so hard here. Why don't we have our own evil cabal of lawyers? Gay guys are so good at being evil. Gay guys, I am your God now. And I am commanding you to obey the Late Stage Live mandate, which is exactly like the Seven Mountains mandate, but with way less telling your son about jerking off. We have to play the long game and regain some control of government, business, media, entertainment, religion, family, and education. The ADF works because they started with the lower courts and legal systems and worked their way up. And the only way we're ever going to compete with them is if we do the same. And somehow also get millions and millions of dollars in funding. Taylor Swift, I'm looking at you. We'll be right back. That's our show! Thank you so much to Parikh, to our patrons, to Reid, Octavia, our writers, our live studio audience. Give it up for yourselves! Our volunteer crew, to Taylor Swift, and absolutely not Joe Biden. Good night! Hi, thanks so much for watching Late Stage Live with Ella Yurman. That's me, Ella Yurman. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, maybe even throw us a bone and share it around, or leave a comment down below if you're nasty. If you want to support our production needs and help us keep making indie, queer, leftist, late-night comedy, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/latestagelive. That's patreon.com/latestagelive. End of video. It's Obama's fault.